it's available for everyone.
It is. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I have to do this. So let's get started. We have 16 people here. Do we have people that were here on the last one that did homework?
Who found their market and found listings that have motivation? You can type in the chat.
Let's see. I'm just making a post to get some. Well, I can't talk. I was just telling Jen, I can't talk and type at the same time. So I'm just going to type something. So Brandon missed the last one. Let's see.
Brandon, do you have a market that you're looking at, and have you done any research in terms of seeing if there are any high motivated sellers on MLS?
All right. Okay. Perfect. All right. One other thing. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I can't type in TikTok at the same. I'm not a multi-talented person. Okay. All right. So Jen set the intention. We're very much a little bit. So we do have new people. Julie, I was just thinking about you. I need to call you. Jen and I were talking about when we were talking about building out a team. And when we were talking about that, I thought of you, Julie. But anyways, maybe we can talk about that now. So, there's new people here. So what Jen and I, excuse me, do is we have been in real estate for a little bit. Jen is a developer and develops like, big town developments, townhomes, spec houses that turn into custom houses. She invests in multifamily real estate, big doors, 27 in, is that what you have, 27 doors?
No, more than that.
No, she has more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has a lot. I don't know how many she has. She doesn't know how many she has. So, so we both have, I've been in real estate for a little bit, mostly traditional, and Jen and I met because, we both have little kids the same age. We're both very driven in the real estate business. And so we also have a podcast, Building an Empire, State of Mind, all about the mindset of stuff. So when Jen started it out saying, I want to set the intention, when you set an intention, it's your mindset. It's like the power of the mind. Amazing things can happen when you focus on your mindset, what the goals you want to achieve. So that's why we start that each meeting out with that. So, anyways, so on our last meeting, we went over, how to find your markets. Yes. Be intentional with your time too. Yes, Julie. So we went over how to find your markets, how to do some agent outreach. We called some agents, and what the homework was, to go watch those, and then you'll find your markets and, find motivated sellers. We found out how to find a good market, how to find motivated sellers, and then make calls. So what Jen and I are going to do, because the elephant challenge is very fluid. And so we're looking for, well, it's like for you guys have so many teams to pick from, and you should date around, date these teams, pick the leaders and see how they're going. But there's always going to be newbies, and there's always going to be fluid people, which is great. All are welcome. What we were just talking about on the phone is this is something every single elephant leader are not being paid to do this. Yes, Big Cast, the recordings are in the chat and I post the recordings. It's like a replay and it goes live on YouTube. So what we're looking for is we want to build a team. We want to help you guys. Our intention is to help you guys get your first deal. So we're going to train you. We're going to show you. We'll work with you. So what we ask in return is just to be consistent and show up. And with those consistent people that do show up, we're looking to build a team. It can't just be us because Jen and I have kids. We have other jobs. We have businesses. And it's all about working together. So Diana, you have your market. Yay. Welcome back. So what we would love to do is, if anybody's interested on your free time to help us work deals, you'll definitely, every baby elephant that brings us a deal is eligible to make money if we sell it. We can actually bring that up too. Let me see. Let me find where it is. I posted in a leader chat and I need to post it for the baby elephants. So you guys did I post it? Here it is right here. So you guys, the intention of this is to have you guys be consistent, come in with us, bring us deals. We'll help you work the deals. We'll help you find sellers. And we'll help you guys get some deals done. So that's what we're all about. Of course, you guys, let me see if I can share my screen. This is right here. This is the payout. Let's see if I can make it so it zooms in. This is just like a share of a video. Oh, it's zooming in, but not. Okay. I'm going to have to find a different way to share this. So baby elephants, you guys are baby elephants. You bring us deals. It's all based off here it is. Every deal is based off an assignment fee of $10,000. So it's like all of a percentage. So, you bring us a deal, that's $500. You bring us a lead that turns into a deal right there, you get 500. Baby elephant, we dispo the deal. If you find the buyer, so when you say dispo the deal, it means you find the buyer, you get $3,000. If we have to renegotiate the deal, the payout goes down to $1,000, but we turn it into a creative deal, or if we get a lower price. If you're boots on the ground, you get an additional $500, which are like taking pictures, going to the property when needed, put a sign in the yard. And then so we'll pull lists. And if we provide you the list, the payout is $1,000 plus boots on the ground is $500. And if you bring a buyer, I don't like how this is laid out. It's kind of confusing. If you bring a buyer, it's another $1,000. So you guys can all definitely make some money. We want to make money with you guys. Do you guys have any questions on that? Let's see. Catherine says, can you talk about when to reach out to an owner versus buyer seller realtor? It seems like talking through a realtor. This is a really good question, Catherine. It seems like talking through a realtor makes explaining creative finance to the seller more complicated. And it does. It's like playing the game telephone. And you like start out at the beginning of the circle and be like, I have a blue elephant. It turns into like, I need to go to the bathroom. And you're like, that's not even the same thing. So that's what it is. It's especially with an agent that doesn't understand creative. However, we always want to go through the agent, because if it's a listed deal, we have ethics and we want to have good business ethics. We want to be on the right side. So if we ever get to, there's been a time, I'm sorry, I have a frog in my throat.
And not only that though, but the seller, like if you go and skip trace someone's number in order to get the seller's information, depending on like the seller's knowledge or comfort level, they're just going to say like, it's listed, talk to my realtor. And then you're going to have to go talk to the realtor. And then the realtor is probably 99% of the time going to be pretty pissed that you tried to go around him or her.
We want to make friends, not enemies. So when you make a good relationship with a realtor, even if they're skeptical at first, you teach them along the way, just like we're teaching you guys. You teach them along the way that it's like a legit thing and they're going to get paid. And then your realtor becomes your bird dog too. If they're like, I got another one. So that's not the only reason we want to do it, just because we might get future deals from them, but also we do business ethically, and we want to take care of, you'll find out very quick, this business is a relationship-based business, and you want to have good relationships. And some people might go around the agent. I prefer not to. However, there are times when you submit offer and submit an offer and submit an offer and submit an offer, and the agent doesn't even reply to you. They don't present it to the seller. You can go, as long as you have a receipts the mile long being like, I tried to reach out to you here, and you didn't respond. So you left me no choice. I skipped traits the seller and went straight to the seller and said, listen, I tried this through your agent and your agent's not responding. So, but we don't want to do that. We hope that's not. Yeah. Abraham says, I had an agent yesterday tell me creative was harmful, and they'll tell you that it's illegal. They'll tell you it's a cat shit offer, like they did to Jen on her very first call. And she was like, I never want to go an agent again. She's like, are they all like this? So yeah. So you guys will get that. And then, so what we did on the last call is I made some agent calls, and yeah, he's protecting his client. He said they think they're protecting, but it's the best thing you can do with those people is just let their contract expire, and then you can go to the client, but let's see. Maria says, I called a gent who turned out to be the flipper as well, but feel like I failed. Don't fail that. And the call messed with my opportunity with him, an agent. Don't feel like you ever do that. And it's good. So that's what we kind of want to go over with you guys today, is we showed you guys how to find your market. We showed you how to find a motivated seller. We showed you how to find something that might be easy to find buyers for. So this can be for wholesaling. We might buy it. We could pull lists or tell you what our buy boxes are, and you can do it. You can also, if it's in Pace's buy box, you guys can do deals with Pace. Lots of baby elephants have done baby elephants have done deals with Pace. So Lois says, great information. I called and left messages, emailed, still no reply. You called the offices and they sent me back to the agent. Still haven't gotten a response. It's so frustrating. And that's one thing with these, you guys will get people that say it's illegal. They won't call you back. It gets so frustrating, but the key to this is follow up, and then follow up again. Yeah. So did anybody do the homework? Raise your hand if you did the homework, and you have some agents to call. We want to bring you guys up, and maybe we can go over your deals, and we can call the agents, and then we can all learn from them. Or is everyone shy? Daniel, you have your hand raised. Do you have yours ready to go? I just unmuted you.
No, I just had a question.
Yeah.
I know me and you talked with another baby elephant. Sorry, I think my thing got blurry.
Oh, you're all big now. I was trying to just bring you up with us.
And so I'm not sure if you remember, but it was a deal in South Carolina with the duplex and all that.
I know I need to get back to you guys. I've been super busy.
You're good. You're good. Me and him have been taking care of it. It's kind of falling through. So
is it?
Yeah, a little bit. But we'll keep you in the loop, and if we feel like we need your help, we'll let you know. Okay. But again, in the process of getting myself into trouble, and as I continue to kind of connect with other baby elephants, I wanted to know if there was any resources that you guys had in terms of negotiating a contract, or I guess how do I negotiate a partnership with another newbie when we're trying to do fix and flips. He happens to be a contractor that already does work out in Ohio, and so like I can be the partner that brings in the capital, and he's a partner that actually is a contractor and does the work. And I've seen that relationship work. I have a friend who does that here out in California, who partners with the contractor, and so like there's like a mutual there's like a mutual willingness to get things done as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because the contractor is also in on it, right? And so I was hoping to develop a relationship like that with someone, and so I came across this person. So I was wondering, like, do you guys have any resources or any contracts that are already set up that we can just kind of like copy and paste and put our numbers into it? And then obviously, like I'll go ahead and take your same advice, where whenever we come across our first deal, we'll partner with the leader to kind of go over our numbers and kind of do that thing. But I just don't know where do I start from like a contract standpoint.
That's a really good question, Daniel. And I love, so what Daniel referred to, he was on the last one. And Daniel, and this is exactly why we want to build a team. And Jen and I were talking, I was just talking about you. I'm like, these poor guys, they got everything together. They text messaged me. I talked to them after and I haven't gotten back to them. I'm like, this is why we need a team. So things don't get, exactly like you guys. But so what Daniel's talking about is and I always tell you guys, get yourself in enough trouble where you're like, oh crap, I need help. What do I do? Like, get yourself in, take the action. Means you're taking action. So that's what Daniel's doing. And what I would suggest for you, Daniel, is to work with a Gator, which is Pace's lending students. I would work with a Gator who is a PML and has done flips before. I can give you some names. I'll text you after this. I'll actually give you the name of the guy that I have him do all my, like I was telling you, I don't underwrite and I don't talk to him. I let him do it. He's my decision maker because it's not, and he's the contract guy. It's not my strong suit. Like I'm out there getting deals, not negotiating and getting them under contract. So I'm not the best person.
Sure.
But what I'll do is I'll connect you with my guy, Jason, who's a Gator, and he's very experienced. He used to be a flipper back in 2009. He has a lot of real estate experience. He gets flippers. Knows how to call them on their BS. He can negotiate really well. So, I will connect you guys. I'll make a introduction because he's a really good resource.
Cool.
And he's going to be better than me for lending stuff.
Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah. And that's exactly kind of what I feel like what we need. And again, like when I was speaking to this person, like we talked about the same things, like we both want to set ourselves up where we're both in a winning situation. Yes. And potentially go to deal number 2, deal number 3, deal number 4, and so on and so on.
For sure. Yep. But you just got to get through deal number 1 and learn a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming back. And I apologize I didn't get back to you. It was not an intentional thing.
You're good. You're good. No worries.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. All right. Daniel was on our last one if you guys saw him. All right. Let's see. I have a buyer that wants a particular property in South Carolina, but the seller or agent is not budging on speaking to him. The seller, I don't know how to get around the agent, and I don't want to be disrespectful. So will the agent not let them know? Should we bring you up, Jennifer?
Yeah, she said that.
Can we bring you up? Is that okay? I'm going to unmute you. And then I'm going to bring you up. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so this property is it's been on the market for like 130 days or something like that. So they're getting to the end of the contract with the agent, right? So, but the agent, I spoke to her today and she is not having it. Like she doesn't want to talk to him about it. And she said because he's 80 years old and he just lost his wife. And I'm like, well, but this could be a win-win. Like, if we just took it over, like it'd be easy for him to walk away. But he has a lot of equity in this property.
That's tough.
So it is tough. And so the listing price is like 2.3, I think. And the mortgage on it is only like $300K, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, sub two doesn't really make sense, you know, but this buyer really wants it. And so I don't really, I asked him, what are you willing to do? Because he's going to want money back for it. I mean, he's going to want money for it, you know,
Yeah.
but the guy has a kid. So, I mean, he's got an heir, you know, but they don't want anything to do with the property either. So they just want to sell it, but trying to come up with a creative way for this guy, this buyer to take it over, right?
So will the agent not even present like a seller finance situation? Like she won't present anything.
No.
So this is the case. Like, do you have anything in like writing to like, if you went to the seller to back it up?
No, I just spoke to her today for the first time. He contacted me because he was like, I need help with this. I was like, okay, I'll try to help you, you know, because I talked to a lot of agents yesterday and I found that I'm pretty good at talking to agents because I got a lot of sub two deals here, you know, and
Nice.
owner finance deals here locally. And I just thought, okay, well, I'm pretty good, you know, I'm okay at this, like I can do it. But, and so I was like willing to help him, but this agent is like, she's really nice, but she is not willing to budge with this.
So she won't even present anything.
She won't, she said, because maybe they had that conversation before and he's very old school and just wants to get out of it. And I told her, well, this would be a way to get closer to asking price, to get, like, you could be a dual agent and get more commission. You know, we would pay the closing costs and, you know, nothing.
You know,
Nothing.
Julie just asked that too. Julie's like, do you feel like she's not going to have commission? But you told her her commission's going to be paid, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's not, that was my first question too. So here's a good, this is a really good exercise. So when they do this, I like to start it out and be like, I noticed this has been on the market for a million years, 180 days or whatever it's been. Can you tell me more about that? You know, and then they have to start telling you why they haven't sold the house yet. So you're like, I know it's been on. So, you know, you put in there, see that they know, and then they give you their whole like, oh, he's old and blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing you can say is, so what is the plan if you don't sell it and your contract expires?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Like
so
that.
that's why that's good. So, I mean, we can call too if you want. Like,
Yeah, you want the address? I'll give you the address.
and
Hold on.
we can. I mean, we can. I
The
don't know.
other-
If we should, yeah, go ahead.
The other thing, there's no comps.
That's
Mm.
tough. It's tough with those houses with their. Jamil always says if there's no comps, it's no deal. Payson always pays it, but I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's a blanket statement. So,
There's
but so
comps
that's tough too.
This property is, hold on, let me pull it up. Is a large amount of acres. It's a horse property.
Nice.
And I looked at it and Privy, there's no comps. I mean, there's like another property in the same kind of like a mile away or something, but it's like, I don't know. I think it was 800K. So it's
And-
nowhere
but you-
near it.
But see, the thing is, you have a buyer for this, and the buyer's willing to pay
That's right.
the selling price. So, I mean, it's worth whatever someone will pay for it also. So
That's right.
what I would do, is you'll be like, so ask, okay, what are you going to do if it doesn't sell? And then you can also overcome the objection of, well, the kids don't want it either. So what you can do with the seller it's a hybrid is what it would be. You can take over the $300,000 mortgages up to, and seller finance the rest. So, and even like he's 80 years old, if he passes away tomorrow, you can be like, listen, he's got to probably have a trust and a will and everything going on.
Yeah.
So the trust, he should create a trust that this house is in and the payments go to, and after he passes, he can assign whoever gets the income from this. So he can pass away and the kids, it won't go on to the kids, is what I'm trying to say, that they
Right.
that don't want him. So
That makes sense to me. But, like getting her on board. I mean,
So-
I don't even think she would tell him. There's the address I put in the chat.
okay. So what the next step would be is I'll get with you and we can write a letter of intent. And maybe we can go over a letter of intent right now.
Yeah.
And so you're giving them a written offer, an
Yeah.
LOI, which is a letter of intent, and be like, hey, realtor, here's I understand. Thank you for speaking with me today. I understand that you don't, I wouldn't say don't say you won't present the offer. Be like, say something along the lines like, I know you said that it may not be a deal, but I would love to put this in writing for you to present to your client. And then it's like, that like SUBTO 300,000, the rest seller finance, what will happen in case, so you lay it out for them. So it's a written letter of intent.
Yeah.
And you can even say, I have a buyer for your property. I would hate to, for this buyer not to get something, or something along the lines of like, I have a buyer for this. So,
That's it. Okay. The buyer, he sent me his terms, like what his wish
With-
list is for creative, right?
mhm.
Do the SUBTO on the mortgage, right?
Right.
385 is what he's saying. And then offer $1 million carried back, no interest over 30 years. To seller or his trust.
So he knows what he's yeah,
What?
that's good. Yeah.
Or 100,000 upfront with 900K carry back. Add
So
a performance note to ensure it's paid back, otherwise it reverts back to the seller. Okay. That's right.
Yep.
Net to seller of 1 million and the value of the current mortgage estimated 385 for a total purchase of 1.3. That's $1 million less than what they're asking, right? So
that's going to be tough.
yeah.
So here
Have-
is,
Have you proposed those terms to the agent, or did you not
No.
even get it?
I
Okay.
didn't even get there.
Gotcha.
so typically what we will say is like, we'll pay your price but we won't ask for concessions. We'll pay for your realtor fees, but it's hard to lowball them $1 million and ask for terms. That's
Yeah.
a sticking point.
Yeah.
And let's see what I'm looking at this one. Oh my gosh. It's hard to find comps. PropStream says it's worth $378,000, which
Yeah.
it just, I mean, I can see it. It's in the middle of the country and there's, it's not like so that's a tough one. So another thing you can do is just wait the long game. You said it's been 180 days on market.
So I think so.
It's going to expire.
Yeah.
You'll save money on the agent commission on $1 million property. That's 30 grand.
It's true.
So sometimes it's good to play the long game too. And you pull back and be like, good luck. And then it's probably going to expire in like 10 days, literally. I think they're
Right.
190-day contracts. And I think you should write an LOI. We can write an LOI. And so you have receipts. So when this
Okay.
expires in 10 days, you're like, here's an email that I presented to your realtor. And by law, they have to present this to you. Unless, which it sounds like they say, if they already talk about it and say, don't bring me anything that is seller finance or something. So if they have that disclosed,
I don't know if they do. Where would they have that disclosed?
they would have it in their contract with the realtor, but it's not public
I don't know.
knowledge.
I
So-
mean, she didn't say that. So I don't know.
Yeah. And so Julie says a good point. If she has concerns, maybe ask what, so you show empathy. And it is kind of, it's really hard to do with these realtors. Like, I totally agree with Julie. What she's saying is like, you build rapport and you're like, I'm on your team.
Yeah.
What's your concerns? Let me help you overcome those concerns. Let's make money together. You know, I want to pay you. But at the same time, you get those really cold people, which
True. This one, I think, like, if I were reading her, I would say she is really very personable up front, but all business behind the scene. You know, like, it's all business. Like, there's no, like, she doesn't, you know, because I expressed like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that his wife died. Like, I was empathetic about it, you know.
Yeah.
And and that was fine, but she, you know, once I started talking about the creative stuff, she was like, nope, you know, like, that was it.
Well, let me ask you this, because it's hard to lowball a creative deal. You typically were like, and I know it's your seller, it's not you or your buyer.
No,
I'm
I
not
didn't
saying
even
it's you.
offer anything. I
Well,
didn't
because
even
what
offer that. I offered
the
price.
will the buyer be interested in like a hybrid deal, like a sub-2 and seller finance deal at the asking price is my question.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, you know, I think that whatever, that was just his wish list, right? But if he could like get them to budge a little, I think he'd be happy. He's trying to buy it for his wife, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be open to it, you know.
So I think the next steps are first to go to the buyer and be like, listen, let's write a letter of intent, but we need to go in at full ask.
Yeah.
And have him make sure it's something, because be like, this is hard to comp. And you have to realize that. And are you okay with the 2.3 if I can get you creative?
Yeah.
And it sounds like he has a little bit of chunk of cash. He offered $100,000 up. So it's not like we're like zero down.
Right.
There is some bargaining room. So what I would do first is go to the buyer and be like, are you willing to put $100,000 down and pay for the 2.3 and take over sub-2? And then what you have to do when you ask him that, we have to work backwards. So it's, 2.3 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, around that.
And then, and what did you think the mortgage was? 350?
385.
Okay, 385. So I'm doing 2.3 minus 385. If I can find my zeros. So it brings it to 1.9 million. And then we want to do this by 30 years. This is just really rough.
Yeah, because he's 80. So like 30 years, it would have to be in his trust or go to his kids or whatever.
And that would give roughly, these are very rough numbers, just so you know, like it,
Yeah.
that would give his kids roughly $5,319.44 in their bank account for 30 years. So you can also pitch it as like, it's a legacy. It's, and if they don't want to give it to their kids, give it to a nonprofit after you pass, you know, to give that money to them. So, and then also I would just qualify your buyer and be like, okay, so it's the $380,000 payment, whatever that comes out to each month, plus roughly $5,400 a month. Can you do that? Plus $100,000 down. So go to your buyer first before we like bug this realtor that doesn't want to be bugged, apparently, which is her job to be bugged, and it's not bugging. So I would go to the seller and say, can you put a chunk of money down to show that you're serious? And can you pay these each month, this payment? And if they're like, and are you up for these terms? And when he or she says yes, let's write an LOI. And I can show you guys where to find the LOIs even.
That'd be
So
great.
So on the elephant challenge, I have 8 gajillion tabs open. I zoomed everything in. Hold on. They should be in here. So an elephant challenge, you come up here to resources. LOI, letter of intent.
I'll just throw it in the chat too.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So this is you. And we can help. This is what we're doing. So Jen and I are building out our team so you guys can submit your deals in the thing. It throws it in a CRM, and then it spits this out automatically. So all we need from you is the terms, the address, all of this stuff. Oh, I changed this onto mine. I needed to put it back to Pace's. But so it's the purchase price, the finance. So this will be a hybrid deal for you. So you'll say, I'll take it over subject to on the existing mortgage, which let me see if it's in here. I'm not even seeing a mortgage in here. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist though. So I'll take over the exist and just put all of those terms that we put in there. And we can go over this and email it to the realtor and just write a nice letter and be like, I know we talked about this and I still want to submit an offer. Here's my offer. I'm not going to fight you on price. I'm not going to fight you on concessions and go tit for tat. I'll pay your closing. That's another thing that you have to ask the seller if they're willing to pay the realtors. Sometimes that's something we throw in to sweeten the deal. Be like, listen, normally for a $2.3 million house, you have to pay 8% to sell that out of pocket, which it may not be that big of a deal for this guy because he doesn't care, but it's a good thing. Be like, we'll act as our own realtor. So there's 3% back. I'll cover your realtor and I'll cover the closing costs.
My guess is that he didn't really do the math to
It's a lot of
see
math.
like what this would be monthly for him,
Yeah.
because most people aren't going to pay $6,000 to $8,000 a month for property,
It's
for like a second property.
yes.
That you
Unless
can't
it's an
get
income
rent.
process. Yeah.
What?
Unless it's like a horse lessons place
Yeah.
or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you're making money on it. So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad you came up here because this is a good thing. So, and especially when you're looking at big properties like this, 2.3, like you just said, not everybody is spending $6,000 a month on a second home. So that's why we're like, if you can find a buyer, that's awesome for that. But it's good to look for properties that are in the average price range of that area, because then your buying pool just like goes up. But another thing that I'm glad that you brought this up, because you do get stubborn agents and they do this. And so in that case, even if they're like, no, I'm not even going to present it, bring your receipts, and you bring, which is like, here's my letter of intent. I'm going to, this is what I'd like to do with the property. And then you have it emailed. So when the listing expires in 10 days, you can go to the seller and be like, I tried. Like, I'm not trying to go, I can only do as much as I can. So you always want to bring receipts. So it's good to like follow up and then follow up again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thanks for looking at it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming
Thanks for
up.
coming up.
Thanks for
Thank you.
those realtors.
Yeah,
Yeah. They
this
can
one was tough. She was tough.
They can be tough, but sometimes you can flip them around.
Yeah.
But
I find it's easier with the men than it is the women.
especially it is woman to woman. It is harder than men to men, especially with the no nonsense, like don't blow smoke up my ass kind of ladies, which it sounds like. I agree. Yeah. So, Well, thanks for coming up. Bring more stuff up here. That was good stuff. It's good practice.
I have another one here that could be sub 2,
Yeah, let's talk
but
about
I was kind of hoping to find a partner with it because I really like it, but I'll give you the address anyway. It's, hold on, I have it up on my computer. Hold on a second. Do you have a minute? Do you want
Yeah,
to
we
talk
do. I'm just
something
reading
else
the
while I
things.
find it? Okay.
So that's a good question. Lawrence says, if you can't comp it, how did the seller or the or agent establish the sales price? Well, agents also have more information than we do as non-agents. They have the MLS, so they can comp. They can, depending on, I don't know if South Carolina is a non-disclosure state, but a lot of states, they won't even put it on Zillow because they don't have to disclose it. So they get all the information that's usually not disclosed too.
And it also just depends on, like, if the seller doesn't need the money, then they're going to try for the highest, right? So, I mean, at that point, they can just pick a price and see if anyone will pay for it.
Yeah. And I love what Jennifer's doing. You're, like I just said with Daniel, just get yourself, just get into it and get yourself into enough trouble where you're like, now I don't know what to do, and that's what we're here for. So it's good. You're just taking action, and you guys are going to get a lot of people that are just like this realtor. Jen and I had a few when I started with Jen, and it was like her first time. That's all we got. Arizona agents.
I was going to say, I think because Arizona is such a hot market too, that they are just like have no time for it. But then, I mean, things just started to turn too after we first started.
Because of Pace and because of this market and because a lot of things, these agents, this is another good question to start out with, to like start building rapport, has been like, have you gotten a lot of those creative offers? And agents are starting to hear about this because all of the baby elephants are out there and all the sub 2 students, and they're all hearing about these creative offers. So, yeah. Did you see what another one?
Yeah, I have this like low equity list. So
That's a good one.
I have to go through it to find the highlighted property.
And that's a good one too, you guys. So if you weren't on the last one that we did, we talked about how to find motivated sellers. And so if there's a low equity list and it's on market, likely they're going to have to, they have no equity in there, which is like between what it's worth and what they owe on it. And then they have to pay usually about 8% of the sales price to sell it on market. So if they have no equity and it's not good, they might have to bring cash to the table to close to cover those agent commissions and closing costs. And that is a really good list. So we're going to start pulling those lists too for you guys.
Are you ready for this address?
Yes.
Okay. It's 130 Forest Mist in Canyon Lake, Texas. The zip code is 78133.
Put it on, will you put it in the chat because we'll get taken off of YouTube for putting addresses because for bullying.
Oh.
That's what they say.
Really?
We got the day 4 elephant challenge pulled off because they said that we will. Yeah. Well, the Zoom, that's right. Good question, Brandon. I have the editors. They're so backed up right now. I have the editors taking off all the addresses on day 4 so we can post it back up. It was so good.
Forest Mist, comma.
Yeah, so I know you guys, it's not ideal. Do you guys have any other questions?
Canyon Lake, Texas. Are you talking to me?
No, I was gonna say, are you still looking for it?
No, I'm just putting in the chat.
Oh, you are. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's try that.
Oh.
So this one is being used currently as an Airbnb. And the mortgage on it is only like $800 a month. And the the agent was open to sub 2. And the property doesn't need any work.
So she's open to sub 2 or he?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull this up. So have you guys talked about terms?
No, I haven't talked to him about it yet because he was interested in sub 2. But I have not like offered anything or anything like that. Like just no.
I need to get
Um,
Morby because Pace
Carly,
teaches
just to let you know, I looked at the property history. So it's been reduced like significantly. It was originally listed in October of last year for 465. And then they changed the price in January of this year to 419.9. Then they went down in February to 399.9. Then they removed the listing in February, relisted at 325, and then they just did another price change down to the 300 on the 9th of July.
So what Jennifer is saying is they're highly motivated.
Yeah, that's $165,000 off of.
There's a loan, the loan balance is 155,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
conventional note loan. But the interest rate is
The interest rate's not on mine. Is it on yours? And you guys,
not.
so it's, just so you guys know, if this is because Jennifer brought this in here and it's not under contract, it can be risky for you guys to give addresses. So, don't go calling this realtor. This is
Don't be a
hers.
jerk. Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Thank you. Thank you. I was
That's
very
all I have to
interested
say.
in-
My sign in the back says do good recklessly. So this
Yeah.
is like one of the things that we take very serious in here. People, we all help each other. We're not trying to like compete with each other. I don't think anybody here is going to do that, but I just want to, I'm putting this disclosure there. So, so you talk to the realtor. Do
Yeah.
you want to call him back and talk about terms? Or
could.
do you want to submit a letter of intent? How did that call go for the realtor?
It was good. He, you know, they want a down payment, right? But he didn't tell me how much because this is low equity, right? So they don't really have that much to like I think it's worth 325, like the ARV, maybe.
Well, because it says the loan balance is 155, so it's not too much low equity.
So they do have equity. They have a lot of equity. So,
Mhm.
but these, so I think they want to sell it to buy a different property.
Mm.
So they're gonna want money back, right?
How much?
I don't know. That's what I don't know.
So do you want to call the realtor now and talk terms?
Yeah, but I have to pee.
Okay.
Can I come back in a minute?
Yes, go pee. And then
Okay.
we'll come back. Let's look at the chat and
Okay.
see if there's anything else. So
Alright. Hey,
Um,
Marcus.
okay.
I was just going to say one person just said that they were very lost between the difference between seller finance and sub 2. Just
Thank
at
you
a
for
very
saying
high
that.
level. Sub 2 is where you take over the payments of someone's mortgage, and seller finance, like in this case where the loan amount is 150 but they want 300,000, you can ask them to carry that difference in a seller finance mortgage. So you make payments towards the seller and you create the terms of that.
Yes. And we were kind of getting into the I get into the weeds with creative, which I'm trying not to do, but and ask your questions, you guys. If you're like, what the hell are you people talking about? Put all of your questions in there because it's easy for us to get, this is what we're here for, is to teach you. And it's easy for us to get in the weeds and you guys don't know what we're talking about. So
It's very common for us, like common language. So
yes. So France says, so you need a sub 2 to close deals with the outstanding mortgage. It's just taking over somebody's mortgage and their payments and you're paying the bank instead is a sub 2, but the
Yeah.
property gets moved into your name, tax and title wise.
Like so say the outstanding mortgage was like 250,000 and they wanted 300,000. Well, that's only $50,000 of equity. So in that you could just pitch taking over the mortgage and then giving them a down payment, right? Whereas if someone owns something free and clear and there's no mortgage, there would be no sub 2, but they would probably seller finance it too. Yeah, seller finance is still a little fuzzy. So seller finance is the exact same thing as a mortgage with a bank, but the bank is the person selling the property. So if you want to do a seller finance mortgage for $150,000, you pick like the year, how long it's amortized over, how much your monthly payments are going to be. You would deal with the seller and decide all of those terms on your guys' terms instead
If
of a
you
bank.
guys, I'm going to show you guys, I have something on my Facebook page that explains all of the terms. And I use this when I pitch to realtors too. And you guys can use this when you pitch to realtors. Let me share my screen. I won't make you guys watch them all, but I'll show you where you find them. So like if you do have questions, so Mortgage Magic subject to explainer video. This will tell you what sub 2 is or subject to.
You should put the video in the chat.
Oh, that's so smart. What am I thinking? Okay, so that's why you're the brains.
And then obviously subscribe to Crow's YouTube
And
channel.
Jen's, and both of ours. Okay, so that's the sub 2 one. And then so bank bypass seller carryback. That needs to be a better title. That's more seller finance. It's also known as seller carryback. So like let's say I own my phone outright and it's worth $1,000, let's say, and I go to Jen and Jen's like, I don't want to go. I don't have any money. I don't want to go to the bank to get myself a new phone. I don't care if it's slightly used. Will you sell me your phone? I'll be like, sure, I'll sell it to you. But then for seller finance, I can make more money on it. So I can be like, listen, Jen, I'll be willing to carry it for you, but I'm going to charge you $500 more. So I'm going to charge you $1,500. You have to pay me back in 12 months. So I'll do $1,500 by a year, which is 12 months. So I'll be like, all right, you owe me $125 a month for 12 months. And I'll give you, and you can have my phone while you're using it. So that's like a high level. So, and Catherine's like, what down payment would you suggest? So every deal is different. Every deal is absolutely different. The things that you guys want to look for is the four pillars is we'll always ask you. Timeline, how fast do you want to sell? Motivation, why do you want to sell? Condition, is it brand new? Does it need a flip? And price. So those are the 4 pillars you are always going to want to ask. That, like, if you don't know what to ask your agents, be like, why are they selling? What kind of condition is it in? You can probably see it from the MLS pictures, or you can, why are they selling it? Why the motivation to sell it is, condition, price. Now I'm just screwed myself. Thank you, Chris. Motivation, timeline, condition, and price. So write that down. Thank you, Chris, so much for putting that in there. So other Chris says, would it be possible to get a hold of me private and here to see what would be like being on our team? Yes. Jen, we should make a Google form for people that might be interested in being on our team.
Yeah.
And we would love, so what we're looking for on our team, we're looking for someone like a lead manager, for someone to like come and look at the leads. We'll teach you how to underwrite a deal and see if it's a good deal. And meet with people to find out information. We kind of, and work the deals. And so we have like a little conveyor belt that it goes through. So right now we're really looking for somebody that, if you're really good with systems, like you typically these people don't like to be on camera. They don't want to be, they're not very extroverted. Typically, this is a whole stereotype thing. If you are, that doesn't mean you're not. But the integrator person that's just like, let me just crunch numbers and look at spreadsheets and build systems, like an integrator is what we're looking for. And so the baby elephants, we would love to have the baby elephants that are, no, we're not only taking sub twos, France, sub twos, non-sub twos. We're only taking consistent people though.
Yeah.
Don't
People who are going to show
be
up and
a flake. Because we'll put a lot of training into you, and every deal that you guys work, you can make money off of. Yeah.
I'll do that this weekend. I'll get that form done by Monday.
Okay. So, bye,
Lots
Julie.
of people
Julie's
are
gotta
asking
run.
for it.
Julie, okay, Julie, we'll send it to you too. We'll just throw it in, we'll throw it in the chat. So in where we put our stuff. So, we talked about those 4 pillars, and a good thing to understand is, are they a good prospect, for like, do they have the motivation? Typically, like we talked about the other day, the people that have super high motivation is we tell them we aren't plan A. We're not plan B. Sometimes we're not even plan C. Sometimes we're like, holy shit, just take this house, else it's going to go into foreclosure, or I'm going to lose all my money, or I just need it gone. So you want something with higher motivation. Pre-foreclosure is a good one. Notice of default lists. Low equity means they have to move and they've likely gotten relocated. So many people are interested. Hi,
I
Sherry.
told you, I literally had this conversation with Carly before, and she's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, we need to talk about it because there's going to be a lot of people who are interested in working with us, but we're not talking about it or saying it out loud. So thank you for confirming what I told Carly before this call.
This is Jen being like, I told you so.
Yeah. What I was going to say though, Jennifer, do you think that you could private message us your phone number and we can call you? Because Carly and I do our podcast right now.
We gotta go.
So maybe we could call the agent with you and record it after our podcast. It's usually like an hour. Does that work for you? Sorry, I muted you.
Yeah, so we're going to we need to move this forward, Jen, because they're never long enough. And we need to move our podcast. We have a podcast. If you guys want to come, it's social media with Mike Key. He's a sub-2 student. I'll give you guys the link. Feel free to come. Don't come. That's okay. Ours is all about, like we said, the mind, come, don't, whatever.
Yeah, just come. Forget Carly.
It's building. It's this. I'll just show it to you guys. It's so our podcast is building an Empire State of Mind. Mike Key, if you're in sub-2, you guys should follow him anyways. He's really good with like mindset and social media. And it's the importance of social media. Even though it sucks to be on there sometimes, it's good. Right, Jen?
Call you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
You
I'll text it now so you have my phone number.
Okay.
Or we can do it on the next one. Let's do it on Monday too.
Okay.
Either.
Yeah, we can.
Well, sooner. Just you guys will text we'll figure it out. But we have to go.
Yeah.
Because it's like really 1 minute till it starts.
I know. I'm sorry
you guys
it
for
took me so
coming.
long. Okay.
That's
It's
okay.
good. It's all good. We'll see you next time on Monday.
You get up and everyone in your household stops you.
Yeah. Mom. We know.
Your
Have a
mom.
good day.